I want you to imagine the most perfect version of yourself that will exist in the future. Is one of his lats bigger than the other? Is one of his side delts really, really more capped than the other one? On unilateral bicep curls, can he curl 20 kg with his right arm and then 10 kg with his left arm? No. When he steps off on stage, his physique is immaculate. The judges are there to critique his physique, and even they're in awe at the symmetry and proportionality of his entire physique. How did he achieve this? Because he didn't start out this way. You know right now, what does your physique look like? Is one lat bigger than the other? Is one forearm bigger than the other? Are you stronger on one side than you are on the other side? And let's be honest, you've noticed this. You know when you take progress pictures, photos of yourself, something looks off. Like something looks weird. And it's causing you to not have an aesthetic look as possible. And I'm 99% sure that it is the muscle imbalances. That is why. There's literally a reason why every bodybuilder obsesses over symmetry. It's because literally in every Olympia, it's a physical criteria, a checkpoint that you must be symmetrical, that you must be proportional. It's very, very important for your aesthetics. So we're going to go over a few things that are going to fix your muscle imbalances today. Because you're sick of yourself looking in the mirror and just, why do I look uneven? I bet that's a question you've been asking yourself a lot recently. And if you look at the thumbnail, you can see that I was literally there too. The first picture, the picture on the left, is me when I was about maybe just turned 17, around a year ago, 18 months ago. And the picture on the right is me from about a few months ago. So I fixed this in roughly around a year, and we're going to get you to do the same thing. If you want more advice like this, the top link in the description, by the way, is my paid product where you can build the best physique that you could possibly give. So we give more advice like this and deeper analysis of the training programs, etc., to get you to build the best physique in the quickest time. So if you're interested, just top link in the description. You're sick of having an uneven physique. You know, if you zoomed in the photo and you looked at literally just that muscle on its own, it would look aesthetic. This is the case for some people. They're shredded, they're low body fat percentage, they've got a decent amount of muscle, but yet their physique doesn't look aesthetic, and it's because of these muscle imbalances. But if they zoomed in, you know, to maybe their right lat, or if they zoomed into like one arm, you think, damn, that guy's physique is aesthetic. But when you zoom out and the symmetry doesn't add up and the proportionality isn't there, it ruins that aesthetic physique that you really, really want. And look, this could be really, really demotivating if you cannot change it. But you should be getting happy, you should get excited, you should have a smile on your face knowing that finally I can change it, finally I can make my physique look aesthetic. And that's what we're going to run through today. Because look, you could be training perfectly correctly, you could have the greatest fun with the world, you could have progressive overload, and you could still have an uneven physique. So it's not the training, it's not the effort, it's not the progressive overload that you're stumbling at. It's some knowledge that you don't really know about. So first we're going to talk about how do muscle balances occur. Muscle imbalances, sorry. And I want you to imagine doing a compound exercise. So imagine doing a row, right? And naturally, when you start out in the gym especially, this is why a lot of beginners develop muscle imbalances. One side of your body is going to be a lot stronger than the other. You know, you've got a strong hand, you've got a weak hand, you've got a strong foot and a weak foot, right? One side of your body is going to be significantly stronger than the other. So when you do like a compound exercise, like a bench press, like a row, for example, a row is a great example because everyone seems to have muscle imbalances in their back, just like I did in the thumbnail. A row is a great example. When you're hitting a row, your body doesn't equally, just because there's two handles at equal distance apart, your body doesn't equally take on as force on the right and on the left side. Your stronger side is going to take on more force because it's stronger, right? The body is made for survival, so your body's going to adapt to what it's in front of it. If it realizes that it's got a stronger muscle at a certain area, it's going to use more of their muscle fibers to be able to lift the weight in front of it, just because it's more likely to survive. It's not thinking about how do I get the most gains from this gym session, because it doesn't know. Your body doesn't know. It's just thinking about survival. That's all it cares about. So more muscle recruitment will come from the stronger side because it's a stronger muscle. So when you're doing a row, for example, if your right arm is stronger, more muscle recruitment will come from the right side, therefore we'll have more mechanical tension, and then it will grow more. And then whereas your left side, for example, will take a less of a load, it will remain stagnant, and the amount of growth, the amount of mechanical tension will be a lot less than the stronger side, so it will grow less. So then over time, as you're doing this row more and more often, you're stimulating this side of your body so much more than this side of your body. And over time, that side's going to build more muscle in your lat, that side's going to build less, and you create this muscle imbalance. Now this can be the case for anything, and it can also translate into strength as well. One side of your body's going to be stronger than the other, so if you lift to failure on this side, then you're going to train it to be stronger. That side won't be able to cope. You create a strength imbalance. So this can work for strength and muscle as well. Now I'm assuming you're here for muscle aesthetics, so that's why we're going to specifically talk about how to break through the muscle imbalances aesthetically rather than strength. If you want me to make a video on strength, by the way, just comment down below and I'll be able to make that one in the future. But, right, you know how it works, but how do I fix it? You know, that's what you're here for. That's what you're here for. You want to fix the problem, right? And my solution to you is unilateral exercises. That's the prevention. So you know how they talk about in diseases, what prevention and cure? This is the prevention side of it. So before you get these, if you have the opportunity, if you have the awareness, unilateral exercises. The absolute most perfect protocol. So I want you to do at least one unilateral exercise per week for the muscle group that you're trying to reduce your muscle imbalance in. And the reason you do unilateral exercises is because you're then able to train each muscle singularly. So now, when you do a row, for example, this side isn't affecting the amount of motor recruitment and mechanical tension on this side because you're separating them, because you're doing them separately. And the bonus about this is unilateral exercises, because you can be more stable and you can train harder and lift more weight, you'll actually get more growth in the muscle in general doing a unilateral exercise, just because of the fact that you can like brace onto something, prepare yourself and actually lift more weight and train harder. So you can actually build more muscle doing it. Unilateral exercises, by the way, which is kind of a bonus. A unilateral exercise, just for like explanation, is like single arm exercises. So like a single arm row, that's where you see me holding on to something so I can brace. A single arm row, or like bicep curls one at a time, or cable lateral raises, things like that, where you're doing one muscle at a time and then the next after that, almost like they're separate sets but don't rest in between as much. So prevention is unilateral exercises, so do that once a week. So I want you to train, literally just train separately as hard as possible. If you think that you can't get as much weight with your weaker side, that's completely fine. Lower the weight, make sure you make it difficult for that weight. And even an extra bonus tip, if the significance is that big, make it like a separate rep range. So, you know how we work in specific rep ranges, right? So you'll do 8 to 12 of this weight, and then once you get to like the top of the rep range, then you go up in weight. That's how it works, right? If you want me to do a video on that, then I will. There's more information about that on my course, by the way, first link in the description. So, you know how we work in specific rep ranges, right? If one side is significantly stronger than the other, it doesn't make sense to work in the same rep range with the same weight for both sides, right? Because you're just going to get so many less reps on the weaker side compared to the stronger side. So I'd even suggest, if it's really significant, maybe lower the weight and progressively overload each side separately. So maybe if you have it on your app or you write down right side, 8 to 12 reps, 80 kg row, let's see how many I can get. Oh, I got 9, bonus, I'll go for 10 next time. Right, left side, 8 to 12 reps is actually 75 kg or 70 kg because it's quite weaker, 8 to 12 reps. Let's see how many I get. Oh, I've got 12, I'll move up. I'll move up now. So, a little tip for that, if the significance is that different, use progressive overload and rep ranges separately for the separate sides, like you would train them separately. Doing things separately, by the way, is going to be absolutely key, because now you're just isolating the muscle rather than it relying on other parts of the body to be able to lift its weight for it. You're just directly training it, and that's what causes more growth from that side, and then could resurrect the muscle imbalance. So we talked about the prevention. So before you have the muscle imbalance, do this so you don't get it, right? We've talked about that. Now we're going to say what to do if you have it. And this is what you're here for, let's be honest. Because you've come here, you're like, fuck, my right arm is bigger than my left. What the fuck do I do, right? If you have it, I want you to do, again, unilateral exercises. We understand this is important. I've explained to you why they work. But I want you to train it slightly differently. I want you to do your weak side first, right? Which is confusing to a lot of people. A lot of people do their strong side first. I don't know why. Do your weak side first with a specific weight in a specific rep range. Train till absolute failure. So brace it on. Do a row, for example. Train till absolute failure so you can't get any more. Then, simply, match it with your strong side. Even if you're not training till failure, by the way. Even if you're not hitting the rep range. Even if you're, the weight's too light or whatever. Just match it. Simply just match it. And over time, what this is going to do is it's going to train this side till failure, have more motor recruitment, more mechanical tension, and grow, right? Perfect. It's going to grow as much muscle on this side as possible. However, on this side, because it's only matching the left side and it might be too weak for it, it's not going to get as much tension, not going to grow as much. So we're in a way, we're kind of reversing the effects of a compound lift. So now this is going to grow, this weaker side is going to grow a lot quicker than this side, and over time, they're going to equal out. And the way to notice that they equal out, by the way, and to go back to just doing normal unilateral or even compound exercises if you want to risk it, is when you do your left-hand side and you train to failure, when you go on switch over to your strong side, when it becomes just as difficult, that's when you know the muscle imbalance has gone away. Right? So eventually, when you've done like 8 reps on this side, let's say you can only just about get 8 reps on this arm as well, you know the muscle imbalance has gone away because they're both as strong as each other, which suggests that they're both the same size. So that's how you can get rid of muscle imbalances doing unilateral exercises. And this works for any exercise, by the way, whether it's shoulders, whether it's arms, whether it's back, whether it's legs. This works for every single muscle. And overall, it's going to make you look more aesthetic, you're going to look better, and you're going to reach the perfect version of you and the goals that you have a lot quicker. If you want more advice like this, my top link in my description is my paid product. It's genuinely the best thing I've ever made. Like, it's going to make you have a great physique. Like, I can say this in full confidence. If you're someone who is struggling to build a physique, maybe you're struggling to lose the weight or gain the weight, trust me, I've literally been in your position. I've been there. And it took me years and years, almost 4 years of mistakes, of doing stupid shit, changing my exercises, not bulking when I should be, to get here. So I realised that, and I meticulously designed my program to eliminate all the mistakes that I made so I can get you there a lot faster, so I can get you your dream physique as a teenager. So if you're interested, it's the best product I think I've ever made, and it's the top link in the description. If you also want personal advice from me, if you've got like a specific problem or something that I haven't covered in this video that you still want to ask about, just go down there, click on the link, it'll take you to my Instagram, give me a DM on Instagram, and I'm sure to help you out with it personally. I hope that fixed all your muscle imbalances, bro, because I know you want to look as aesthetic as possible. Have a good session in the gym, bro, and I'll see you later.